I would be enthusiastic about that, and mostly because those candidates seem to come to an organization with more of a broad-based background. They tend to have demonstrated and have learned how to learn. They've learned how to communicate. They can work well with other people, or they tend to work better with people than specialists. So if they come and have some demonstrated success within their undergraduate program or with job or internships or volunteer opportunities, they are especially helpful or good candidates.
I would certainly consider a liberal arts degree in a candidate. That I think, to me, as an employer, is probably an overall positive. It would depend, of course, on which liberal arts major perhaps we were talking about, and the academic rigor around that major, and how well the student did. But if you mean liberal arts as say, opposed to a business degree, I think both have pluses and both have minuses for an employer.
The advice that I have, which is why I chose a liberal arts degree, is people change their minds. You think you know, some people do know that they want to go on a very specific path, and that's what they want to go for, but many times students don't know, especially when they're starting off in college. They don't know what they want to do. They might have a general idea, and they'll explore those classes, but they decide maybe they want to change their direction later, and they choose to go with, maybe a whole nother degree. This way, a liberal arts degree can help you, be able to stay in that broad range instead of going to a technical school, per se.
Well, I'm a big fan of people following their passions and what they're really interested in. So that would be for starters. If the student was thinking about a business-related career, I would suggest to the student that they get a lot of writing experience, a lot of communication skills. It's amazing to me how many people in the business community lack good writing and good communication skills, and how important those skills are, especially as we come increasingly tied to emails and communication via writing in our economy. That just becomes more and more important, and more and more difficult to find.
I think a term people say to students trying to figure this out is you have to have a passion, and I think that goes a little too far. I think it's really hard, or it takes a unique person to have an actual passion. But if you have a strong interest in a subject matter, or clearly you're not bored. For example, if someone wants to, can pick up the Wall Street Journal or some other business periodical and not be bored out of their mind, that that tells you that you have somewhat of an interest or aptitude. But if you are bored, then business is not the way to go. I think that you just have to keep trying different things, and a liberal arts education gives you an opportunity to do that. You can read all different things, you can meet different people. It just gives you an opportunity to try to help figure that out.
I would say pick something that you like. Pick something that you can find that you enjoy out of it, because if you don't, things are going to be a lot more difficult to actually finish your coursework and things like that. But if you can find something in there that you like, whether it's a topic or whether it's the professor or something like that, if you're studying something that you're interested in, it makes things a lot easier. And also be open to a lot of different things. You may not see how a liberal arts degree can help you in whatever field that you pick, even if it doesn't directly relate, but it will somehow relate, because everything is somehow interrelated with each other. History and science, or business and history, or business and science, or business and journalism. Everything is somehow interrelated, and you just have to be open to it to see it.
I think that students today should be really excited about the opportunity for liberal arts education, because what employers are looking for today are people who will enter the workforce that are able to be agile, resilient, and be able to look at issues and problems from many different perspectives. This is uncertain and complex times, and the old way of doing things and the linear way of looking at things is not what's needed for change and innovation. So I think that that is probably the greatest gift that a student can get from actually engaging in a liberal arts education.
I would say very successful, almost more successful than, say, a specialist, at least in a general business environment. If you're going to want to go be an accountant and work for an accounting firm, that's a different answer. But in all the organizations I've worked in, I think liberal arts majors, people who have demonstrated success in their undergraduate programs, again, they've had success in internships or part-time jobs, tend to be good communicators. Sometimes listening is as important as writing, talking, or having interpersonal skills, but that helps a lot in terms of leadership. They're also systems thinkers, where you learn about this. Tom Russler, who's a prof over at the graduate program at St. Thomas, talks about being able to be a systems thinker where you really figure out that everything really is related. You take the global economy that we're in right now, you can't be myopic. You have to be able to draw conclusions from multiple pieces of information that are probably related. And we have had, in the organization I'm in now, as well as previous organizations, great success with liberal arts majors who have been able to come and contribute because of those things as well as their ability to learn.
I don't know that I've observed a huge difference. I think once you get in the workplace, you're going to be judged based on your performance, not whether you had a business degree or some liberal arts degree. I do think that having at least certain types of liberal arts degrees or education are going to prepare a young person for a business career maybe more effectively than maybe a business degree would or some other liberal arts degrees. And I guess what I have in mind is, again, the development of communication skills and writing skills, I guess what some people might call EQ, or just the ability to relate to other people. If you have a good broad-based liberal arts education, I think there's a greater chance you're going to be able to connect with people. It's kind of the nature of liberal arts. And also, if you have a really fine liberal arts education, I think that the thought that if you're a liberal arts major, you're trained to think and you're trained to self-educate becomes important, because you're going to have to pick up a lot of skills to be a success in a business career, irrespective of your major. And the better equipped you are to teach yourself and to learn, the more success you're likely to have. And all of those things can be furthered by a first-class liberal arts education.
To make sure to emphasize how well-rounded, open-minded you are with diverse ways of looking at situations, people, and the environment. When I say environment, I mean business environment, because being able to look at things from many different perspectives is going to make you more innovative, more creative, and it's what business needs today.
Start looking before you're a senior. Get as much networking in as you can, and that means volunteer, that means find internship opportunities. Work hard, take part-time jobs, expand your network. The other thing is to work hard and to think about those opportunities that you're trying to find in terms of a job, and prepare well for those. Do research, learn about the industry, learn about the people you're interviewing with, learn about the job, study, listen, and be honest and sincere. Don't fake it.
Some of the tips would be the same whether you're liberal arts or business, which is to network, to there's kind of the law of large numbers in the sense of get your name out there, get your applications out there. Try to develop mentors, try to get people invested in the success of your job search. Those are all the sorts of things that are important for all graduates. I think specific to liberal arts, if your liberal arts education has included a strong communication and writing component, I would emphasize that. I think whatever one can emphasize to hit the sweet spot of what that employer is looking for, which often is going to be this EQ component. Are you flexible? Are you a good team person? Do you have good communication skills, good interpersonal skills, good writing skills? All of those things, to the extent you can emphasize how your liberal arts training has furthered those complements of skills, you're going to, I think, be appealing to what many employers are looking for. Well, again, it's I think the same theme that to the extent that you have developed strong communication skills or can explain to the potential employer that you have unique communication, both verbal and written communication skills that are going to those will transfer to any business job of any complexity. To the extent that you have developed this idea of EQ or interpersonal skills are a key component to success in what an employer is looking for, and also the ability to self-teach. That you have a broad-based background that will allow you to put your employer's business into a broader context, and how you can perhaps bring some creativity to the job that somebody with the narrower form of education might not be able to make that claim.
As far as my skills, I think I've learned how to, my job that I have now is very relevant. I have to do a lot with people, networking, talking on the phone, be a liaison. I think it's relevant in my psychology degree to help to learn how to read people very quickly and be able to kind of make yourself a chameleon and talk with them on their level. So it helps you gain even more in your sale, perhaps, is what I do. And that was probably the most relevant for me.
Bring good communication skills. Again, you may not have experience in that exact job or that exact industry, but if you bring the demonstrated ability to learn and to work hard, and you can demonstrate that in a number of different ways on your resume, but mostly because you've been out there doing other things in addition to your studying. But if you're very prepared and you have an ability to demonstrate that you can work hard and can bring all those experiences together, I think people really pick up that, and you can distinguish yourselves from your competition with those jobs.
I would make sure that they emphasize the critical thinking skills and the ability to look at situations from diverse viewpoints.
That's a tough question to answer, just because in my field I'm not expected to be any expert of any one particular subject, but I'm expected to be able to be open and learn about everything. Just because there are days where I could be doing stories on ice crash and rescue, and another day I could be doing a story about postal layoff employees. And so it's being open to learning about everything.
I think an open mind. I think the liberal arts education gave me really the chance and time to reflect, think, and be open-minded about how I approached an issue or a situation.
I learned a lot in St. Thomas. I was involved in a lot of clubs. One of the most important clubs I was involved in was Pulse. It was hip-hop, dance, and kind of entertainment. That helped me to really break out of my shell a little bit more. I'm an outgoing person as it was, but it really helped break down the rest of the walls It helped me learn how to make a lot of new friends and just kind of go for what you want to do. Because I've never done dance class before, and I said, you know what, we might as well. So that helped me just, give me the strength to try something new. But as far as school went, the clubs I was involved in, the classes I was involved in, I learned so much, and I really appreciate everything that the school had to offer to me with all of the, the assistants that could help you after class to, not that anyone likes homework, but homework teaches you how to do hard work and helps you prepare for the real world. And I can tell you right now, the real world is not easy. You have to be driven, you have to know what you want. And as soon as you know what you want, you need to go for it. So that's how those clubs and those classes have helped me evolve into the person that I am today.
Public speaking skills, communication, I think all those come in handy. When you leave here, when you start here, you don't have those skills just yet, but through your classwork and things that kind of make you step out of your comfort zone, make you question things that you normally wouldn't, or find the other argument to things that you normally wouldn't see. I think that helps me in my job just to be fair and balanced as a journalist. I think those are things that I find.
Marketing my liberal arts skills, I definitely, again, it has to do with the extracurriculars, and I tied that in with the major that I had and said, I learned all these people skills. This is what I know about, my major that I have and how this is definitely relevant to what I want to do. And I would use examples of, let's say, if there's a class experience or if I had to write a paper, we had a presentation, I would use those experiences that I had in class to make them relevant to the job or the interview that I was in.
To be honest with you, I don't know if I actually did, just because my skill set or my job criteria requires much more on the technical skill set that I had. But at the same time, too, the skill sets play in a lot to that public speaking that you learn with a liberal arts degree, that critical thinking about how you tell a story in journalism and how you present yourself on camera with confidence and how you speak, if you speak clearly, if you can enunciate and project the points that you want to project across so that people can understand. I think that's how I indirectly marketed my liberal arts degree.
That's a great question because my father asked me the same one when I was interested in going to St. Thomas for psychology. And after talking to him further, he came to understand as what I saw as an important piece to really selling myself in the business world was that someone with a psychology degree understands people, and that's what a business is. It's a group of people. And I did, with my psychology degree, enter into the business world in a management development job. So my father was happy.